All right, here's your North Tustin homeowners report for single-family residents in the 92705 zip code going into November 2021. There's a few things that you need to know. The data we're going to show you only covers the east side of the 55 freeway, so hopefully more relevant to you. So let's jump right in. My name is Anthony Nitz. I'm with eXp Realty. Been helping people buy and sell homes in the Tustin, North Tustin area since 1997. So I've been around for a while, got a little bit of a grasp on what's going on here. So we're going to be talking about price data. We're going to be talking about sales data. We're going to be talking about predictions as well as we go forward. If you want, you can go ahead. If you have a specific area that you want me to do a report on, just give me a call. Let me know. I'm happy to go ahead and do that for you. And we will put that report together for you. If you feel free to go subscribe to the official Rustin and Tustin YouTube channel, where we're putting up videos on a regular basis. So let's get right into it. In 927, first of all, we're looking at a 5-month history, and the reason we're doing that is because we just want to kind of be able to identify any kind of trends that are happening currently in the marketplace. We're also looking at median and average prices. I know my math friends out there are going, man, Anthony, why are you doing averages? You just do median when we're talking about real estate. And I say, yeah, you know what though, but the problem is the data set is so small that it's really hard to get a good median out of those numbers. And so we use an average just to kind of do a comparison on there. So if we're looking at June 2021, median was $1,725,000, average was $1,875,000, July $1,450,000, average $1,588,000, and August $1,405,000 and $1,006,000, and then September was $1,410,000 and $1,425,000 for the average, and then in October the median dropped to $1,285,000 and average of $1,468,000. Again, this is for single-family residences east of the 55 freeway in the 92705. If you want, we can do another report just east of Newport Avenue or east of Prospect. So anyways, this is what we're looking at as far as numbers. And so I've got a red arrow going down because it's showing that as far as trends go, the values, the median value is going down. Now the average, you know, same thing, still kind of going down. We were at $1,008,000 and now it's dropping down. We're at $1,468,000. Let's take a look at sold percentage of list price. In other words, how much are people overpaying for properties, single family residence in the 92705 zip code? And if you take a look there, June it was 103.1%, 102.5 or 102.5 in August, 100.1 in September, and then 101.5. I'm calling this a wash because, you know, right now this is great. People are paying a little bit above what the asking price is in the marketplace, and this is good. This is a good indicator that people are using the correct pricing strategies to list their price at market value, and then letting the buyers kind of wiggle their way into the top position to get those to get that home for themselves. So we just kind of call that a wash. And then we're talking about price per square foot sold. So this is a good indicator to kind of tell us if is there consistency in what the value of these properties are. So in June we're at 527, July we're at 534, in August we're at 533, and September 508. And then back at 544. So, you know, we had a little dip in September, 508, but basically we're in the 530, 540 range for a cost per square footage. Could be a good indicator if you take a look at your square footage and you go, well, based on square footage, you know, could some of these numbers apply? They could. There are so many factors that go into putting a price on your home. Especially in the North Tustin area, because there's so many variables as far as style of home, condition of home, how big is your lot, where in North Tustin is it situated, a lot of things like that, but just kind of fun numbers to play with so you can see. But we can see that it's maintaining some sort of consistency. As far as the 544 going, as far as the high number goes, we're going to watch that and we're going to see, okay, next month, is that number still going up or does it drop back down? Was it kind of just a little bit of a fluke? So we'll see. Let's talk about sales data for houses in the 92705 zip code. New listings. So remember, there are, in all of 92705, there's 9,565. Again, this data is only for east of the 55 freeway, which I don't have the count on those homes just yet. I will have them. I was hoping to have them today, but I don't have them just yet. For just east of the 55 freeway, call it half this number, just for the sake of argument. So we'll call it 4,500 homes, roughly. Call it 5,000 homes. 27 out of 5,000 homes came on the market. So when you look at that and you go, holy smokes, that is really, really low. Back in the day when I first started selling homes back in 1997, they trained us. They said, hey, what is considered a normal market is 10% of the entire inventory of homes at any point in time is up for sale. So that would mean that currently, if we're talking about 5,000 homes east of the 55, that 500 homes would have to be on the market right now, right? But when we're only putting 27 listings into the marketplace in any given month, that's not the case. And it's never been the case like that too. The numbers have never been at that 10% range. But still, these numbers are really, really low. 40, 41, 26, and then in October, only 11 listings came in the market in October. That's really, really low. And why did we have this little bump here? We had 40 and 41 suddenly jump into the marketplace. My speculation here is, if you remember September 14th, what happened? We had the recall election. And I think people were thinking, boy, I don't want to stick around for this recall election. I want to get out of here. Regardless of which way it goes, we're gone. People were selling their houses and heading out even up through here. And in October, they're like, oh, we're past the recall. That's all done. Let's go. And then also we are going into the holiday season, right? It's traditional. It's typical for the holiday season for the number of listings to dip down pretty low. But my gosh, 11 out of roughly 5,000 homes in the 92705 zip code. So this is in your favor as a homeowner. This is a good thing for you because the numbers are still so low. The competition is hardly existent, and so when you list your house, you don't have to worry about competing with a ton of other people. Days on market, let's look at that. It's an average. 26 days in June, 20 days in July, 41 days in August, 23 days in September, 18 days in October. And I'm just giving this a wash. And just so you're clear what this means, days on market is, it doesn't mean, okay, I sold my house, now 26 days later I'm moving. No, what that means is it took between 18 and 41 days in the 92705 area, east of the 55, for single family homes, to get a viable offer, to get one that people were happy with. Almost 3 weeks up to a little over a month, right? And this is important to understand because a lot of people are kind of like, hey, if all you got to do is just go outside and say, my house is for sale, and I'll have 40 offers just drop out of the sky. And that's not necessarily the case. People are in this area and these price ranges. You got to understand we have fewer buyers, and so they're taking a little bit longer to sell. Just understand that when you list your house for sale, if you end up selling your house, that it could take a little bit to do that, but 18 days, that's pretty good. Now, this number here, this is something that is mind-blowing to me, and I don't understand why this is happening in this marketplace right now, because these numbers are totally unacceptable to me. And so when I look at them, it just blows my mind. Properties that fell out of escrow in June. So of the new listings that came on the market, there were 27 new listings that came on the market in June. 14 of them received an offer, their first offer. They looked at it. They and their agent looked at it and said, hey, wow, that looks like a great offer. Let's take it. And then fell out of escrow. 51% of all newly listed properties that took an offer in June fell out of escrow. And then if we take a look at July, 55%. If we take a look at August, 56% of all new listings that got an offer fell out of escrow. This is crazy to me. 46 in September and then 45 in October. This is not good. This is not good because it creates anxiety, creates stress. And my question is why is this happening? And I believe I know why it's happening. like this, but sellers don't realize that this is happening. As a result, we'll just put it this way, they're letting it to be gotten away with. I don't know, is that good or English? I don't know. But it's, it's happening. It should not be happening. Because I'll tell you what, in all the years I've been doing this, if 45% of the homes that I listed fell out of escrow the first time, I wouldn't be in this business anymore. It should not happen. It's totally avoidable. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. We'll talk about it. If you just want to avoid that whole issue. All right. Okay, moving on. So let's take a look at closed sales. June, we had 46 closed. 25 closed in July, 34 closed in August, and 28 in September. And in October, we had 43. So this is good for you, the homeowner. And it's good for you, the homeowner, because there's more closings than there are new listings. Then that means that inventory is getting wiped out, right? So it's keeping the inventory low, so it'll still keep that demand up high for you, so that, we can still get really good prices and get your home sold for you. Okay, months of supply. So what months of supply means is basically, if there were no new listings taken in 92705, moving forward, none, not a single one, going forward indefinitely, how long would it take to sell the current inventory? And it's important to know, because it also is a reflection of what the inventory looks like. So in June, we're talking about 1.6 months. July, 1.7. Talking about 1.8 in August and 1.3 in September. And then in October is 1 month. Take 1 month, and all houses in the 92705 area east of the 55 freeway are sold, gone, there's no more. Okay, so that's a good thing. That is definitely in your favor, because it just is another indicator that competition is low. Okay, so now normally, as far as, so predictions. So normally I'm going to call this a green flag. Okay, I would say, yeah, everything looks good, all the data is good and all that stuff. However, I am going to issue a... Hold on, you're going to enjoy these predictions I'm about to give you, but what I'm about to tell you is even better. Everybody knows that when you're selling a house in tip-top condition, you're always going to get a much higher sales price and more profit. But did you also know that there is a way to do all the repairs and rehab, no matter how big or small, with no upfront cost? Let me show you how. It's important to understand that most buyers, when they buy a house, they're buying at the top of their available price range. And so if the median home sale price in Orange County, we'll call it $1 million. We know it's higher than that, but we'll call it, if the median is $1 million and your house is in disrepair, what will end up happening is that at least 2/3 of those buyers, if these were all the buyers in Orange County, would go away. They would disappear. And so now this is all the buyers that you're left with, because most buyers, like I said, buy at the top of their price range, and that usually means that they don't have an extra $50,000 or $150,000 laying around to completely rehab a house that they just bought, that now they're going to have to wait weeks or even longer to get into the house, and increasing their expenses even further. And even if they did have that money, they probably want to spend it on furniture and decor for their new home to make it their own, right? And of the ones who would still consider a house that's in disrepair or a fixer-up or something like that, you could even take away a good part of those, because what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to go, you know what? We're probably just going to pass on this one, because, same reason. The money that's going to come out of their pocket afterwards, unless they're getting a really, really, really good deal. And so then what's left is you have investors. You have investor buyers, or people who are looking to take your house at a really low price, who are willing to do all those repairs after the fact. And as a result, you have fewer buyers interested in your house, who are going to get you a whole lot less money and less profit in your pocket, and you're going to walk away disappointed. But you can have all these repairs done, and have it done with no upfront cost whatsoever, and get you a whole lot more profit. This is an actual real-world case study. These are both real houses. They just so happen to be right next door to each other. They both came on the market at exactly the same time, and they both featured similar qualities, so they were very comparable. House A was asking $1,180,000, which they reduced from $1,225,000. House B was asking $1,525,000, which they increased from $1,475,000. House A was not rehabbed at all. It was in good shape and it was well maintained, but it was very outdated. House B was fully rehabbed. House A took 35 days to sell. House B took 2 days to sell. House A sold at $424.16 per square foot. House B sold at $533.96 per square foot. House A had 5 bedrooms and a 3-car garage. House B only had a 4 bedrooms and 2-car garage. House A was even offering more commission to the agent than House B. Now, if we just make some assumptions about the loan balance of being 0 on each one, so we can just get a same net proceeds, and the rehab cost on House A was 0 because they did no rehab. House B, they spent about $150,000. House A, the closing costs estimate is about 1% for Orange County. Same thing with House B. So their closing costs would have been about $11,800, which is less than House B. House A, if they listed with us, would be 1% on the listing side, or $11,800. House B, the listing side, would have been about $15,250. House A, if they're paying a 2.5% buyer side, it'd be $29,500. House B, if they were paying a 2.5% buyer side, which we know they only paid 2%, but if they were paying 2.5%, would have been $38,125, so much more than House A. Yet the proceeds on House A were $1,126,900. Yet the proceeds on House B was $1,306,375. for a difference of $179,475. With the 0 upfront cost to rehab your house, there are no hidden fees, there's no interest, there's no income required, and there's no credit checks. So the evidence is clear that rehabbing your house before you sell it will put more money in your pocket. So if you'd like to get a free, no pressure, no obligation walkthrough of your house where I can tell you how much more profit you would make when you sell your house by doing certain repairs with no upfront cost, then just call the number that's on the screen or visit the link that's on the page and put in your information, and I will be happy to come and visit with you and just hang out and just share with you what I can. Let's get back to the predictions. So predictions. So normally I'm going to call this a green flag. Okay, I would say, yeah, everything looks good, all the data is good and all that stuff. However, I am going to issue a light green, a light green flag alert. Okay, so, and I'll tell you why. And it's not really has to do with the data that we just looked at. It has to do with some information that just came into the marketplace very, very recently that we need to really pay attention to and keep our eye on. So some of that information, let's do a recap real quick and see that the negatives, you know, we have decreasing median and average sale prices. Those are definitely, look like they were coming down. And then the abnormal number of homes that fell out of escrow. Obviously, I mean, that is crazy to me. Positives, we have new listings that are pretty low, and so therefore low competition. Months of supply reinforces that by saying that there's low inventory. Closed sales clearing out the competition again, so we're not building up an inventory that you have to compete with. And then recently this article came out, it was about the 3rd week of October. Mortgage Bankers Association puts out a report, and they're very reputable. Mortgage Bankers Association, as far as the information that they share, they don't fluff things up to try to put a spin on it and stuff. They tell it like it is usually. And they say by the end of 2022, mortgage interest rates for a 30-year fix is going to be at about 4.0%. Now that's not a big deal. It's you know, they're talking about up to a year away. We don't know when in 2022, but it's up to a year away. I'm not going to worry about it right now. You know, it's only 1%. Not a big deal. Okay. And so, so it isn't a critical thing, but it is something to watch. And the reason is because as interest rates go up, for every 1% the interest rate goes up, it effectively reduces the a buyer's ability to buy a home by about $60,000. Okay, so somebody's there looking at your $1.4 million house, and suddenly the rate goes up 1%, and now they can only afford a $1,340,000. So now they're gone, and you're, at that point in time, you're like, hey, my house is still worth $1,400,000. Okay, and then so the person who was looking at the $1,460,000, right? They are out there, they're looking, they can afford this particular price range, they're excited, they see homes that they like, and all stuff, and then all of a sudden, their ability to buy that $1,460,000 drops to $1,400,000, which is now your house. And sorry to say it, but it's they're having to downgrade. And as long as I've been doing this since 1997, I have experienced buyers a lot of times when rates increase like that, instead of downgrading because they had their hopes set up here, now they're being told all they can afford is this. What they tend to do is they tend to just say, well, we'll wait. We'll wait to buy a house. We'll wait till later. Okay? And so it's important to keep an eye on rates, because if rates go up, then definitely affordability definitely goes down, and it affects the marketplace as a whole. But what created a red flag for me was these articles that just came out November 1st. Zillow announces 25% of the workforce will be laid off. Home buying business will end. You got to understand what Zillow's business model was. Zillow's business model was to buy properties at a discount, 60 or 70% below the market value. They refresh it, repaint, put new flooring, do some repairs or whatever, and then they put it back on the market and sell it for profitability. But what's the reason that they are announcing that they are ending their home buying business and that they're laying off all of these people? And they say it's because it's a Q3 earnings statement report that says, lack of profitability. And so I don't buy it, because if they had profitability from these properties that they're buying and reselling, then it shouldn't be an issue, right? Because especially if they're selling in 8 days to 3 weeks, give or take. So I'm really not buying it. And then you also got these articles, and if you haven't seen this stuff, you just probably haven't been looking at the news, because they're constantly talking about it right now. Zillow seeks to sell 7,000 homes. So now, not only have they said, stop buying homes, stop it, no more homes, we're not buying homes. Matter of fact, we're shutting down that division altogether. But now they're also saying the 7,000 homes that we own, we're going to get rid of it. If you read between the lines on these articles and the press releases and stuff, you kind of get the feeling that that's what they're saying. They're going to dump them off. Because what they want to do is, they're probably going to be selling them to other investors and things like that to just recoup their money. They're not, it doesn't sound like that they're trying to make a huge profit on the deal. They're just dumping them, getting rid of them. And there's a few issues to be thinking about when we're doing this. Number one, Zillow is one of the largest real estate data aggregators in the world, I guess, if not at least the United States. So they have all kinds of data that they're constantly crunching and tweaking and running numbers and algorithms and all sorts of stuff, right? Yet they suddenly said that buying homes and selling them is not going to be profitable. So what does that mean for us? Is that an indicator for us that they have information that we don't have yet? Possibly. So we definitely really have to keep an eye out on what's going to happen coming up here in the very near future. So just take that all for what it's worth. And then, of course, the media is just bombarding everybody with these articles. Should you be prepared for a housing market crash? Okay, I see them every day. Every single day I see these articles. So if they're priming the mind of the consumer, there's going to be a market crash. Why are they doing that? This headline was great. I love this one. This is from CNN Business. No one seems worried about a housing bubble, just like the last time the bubble burst. And it's true, in 2008 when the bubble burst, there were people up to the very last day or even past the last day going, no, it's never going to end. This is going to be great. It's going to continue to skyrocket and everything. And then what happened? The market fell, and it falls faster. It always falls faster than it goes up. You guys think it went up fast? So if it went up fast, it'll probably fall twice as fast. If it falls, right? We just don't know. We don't know. Okay, nobody knows. Don't let anybody fool you and tell you that they know, because nobody knows. Even the federal government doesn't know, as indicated back in 2008 when Alan Greenspan's sitting there going, how did that happen? How did the market crash happen? Gosh, we never knew, you know? And it's like, oh, give me a break. And then finally, we still don't know what the effects of the eviction and foreclosure moratoria coming to an end is going to have on the housing market. We have people who are renters who the state has said, hey, we are going to go ahead and catch you up on your back rent. And then the people who own the rental properties, we're going to help you get caught up on your mortgage payments that maybe you're behind on. As of today, as of the time I'm recording this, I have not seen that happen yet. So if you have information on that and you see, oh no, it's happening here or there or wherever, let me know. Here in California, specifically in Orange County, that would be interesting to read. Maybe I just haven't seen it yet, but I haven't seen it yet. And so what happens is, if that doesn't come around, now you're going to have people who are being evicted out of properties, and then you're also going to have these people who own these properties, you know, and most rental properties are just single individuals like you and me. They're going to get foreclosed on. So now that comes into the marketplace. Okay, as far as the foreclosure moratorium coming to an end, as of last month, I read the article that said there's still 1.2 million people in the country who have a forbearance. In other words, they just weren't making their payments because they couldn't. The CFPB, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, came out with a mandate back in I don't know, June or July, that told lenders, you better do everything in your power to help these people prevent foreclosure, or else we're going to fine you millions and millions and millions of dollars. So lenders right now are probably sitting there going, okay, I don't want to be the first one to start slapping out foreclosures, because you remember back in 2008, if you were around then, you know, lenders are just like, I mean, they're just throwing out 100 a day, right, as the market shifted. But lenders now are kind of scared because of that, and so they're kind of, I think, this is what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to slowly start trickling out foreclosures for these people that they can't work out loan modifications or work out deals with them. You know, watch the other lenders and who, hey, are you guys putting them out? Yeah, we're putting some out. Okay, we're going to put some out too. And slowly, so that no one lender, no one bank sticks their head up out of the hole and gets whacked by the CFPB with millions of dollars in fines. So I think that's what's going to happen, but we just don't know. And of course, as there's foreclosures, those come onto the marketplace. They're usually not in as good of condition and need rehabs and all that stuff, so it affects the values of the properties surrounding them, lots of things like that. So anyway, we just don't know what's going to happen. We got to keep an eye out for that, because and finally the foreclosure process takes a minimum of 121 days. So it's 4 months that it takes for that property to go through the foreclosure process. And so it won't even be, even if they're putting out foreclosures today, we wouldn't see it until 4 months from now at the very earliest. It'll probably be longer than that. So anyway, that's enough information. I hope this has been helpful to you. Of course, if you have any questions, you have any concerns, you want to talk about, you know, your property, you want me to do any special reports or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. Happy to do it. We'll do it, of course, no cost, no obligation. And look forward to talking to you sometime soon. Have a great day.